Last time on Duck of Shame!
One of them reproduced by budding.
That's bullshit, but I believe it.
Omelette du fromage.
Quicksand isn't, really, a danger in real life.
You know what you do gotta watch out for, though?
For
corn silos.
It's a dark and stormy night, and then, I turn around and just underneath one of the fucking, street lights is a corn silo.
Welcome, campers, to the Doc of Shame podcast. My name is Matt. Joined with me are...
I am Chris, and I am Farticus.
I am Matt Walsh, and I am Sporticus. It's me, after all these years.
I am Gabe, and I'm immediately going to date this by saying that the Pokemon DLC comes out in 2 weeks.
All right.
No, the illusion is broken. No.
Okay. Welcome everyone. It's been a couple months since we've recorded, but that's okay. Who needs a schedule? If you're listening to this for the first time for some reason, go back to episode 1. Anyways, this is episode 9, also known as Paintball Deer Hunt. I believe that's the episode title.
It is.
Yep, Deer Hunter. My mistake. On our recap, there was just one thing that I wanted to note for this episode was that Chris mentioned that Beth took a cursed idol from the island.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I was taking a sip of water. I thought there was gonna be more conversation there.
Okay.
As the episode starts, Chris flies in a helicopter to announce the challenge, and he's in a pilot outfit, just like Star Wars. They wear in Star Wars. Nice reference there.
Duncan has a guilty conscience about it. With that, well, not the Star Wars outfit, but the helicopter going over.
Yep. In the girls' cabin, Lashana curses out Chris a little bit, and then Heather decides to command Beth and Lindsay to go and warm up the shower for her. And then cut to Heather taking too long in the bathroom while the rest of the girls wait outside.
It's good to know that Heather is still an annoying bitch. So after 2 months, it's nice that we've come back to that and things have not changed.
It's also good to know that Cartoon Network has aired 16-year-olds in their underwear, animated.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's this. When you really think about it, this show is really edgy, a little too edgy at times, on that front. Also, can someone describe what lumberjack style is? Because I've never heard of this before.
Just going outside.
It's just going outside.
And that's really that. There's nothing really extra. Okay.
Yeah.
It just sounded very interesting to me. I like lumberjack of all things, but I guess they're Canadian, so I'll give them a pass.
Heather mentioned something about needing lotion rubbed on her back for someone to come in and help her. All of them walk away, and it's just Beth there left to go in and help Heather out, which is unfortunate for her. But it leads into some important characterization for Beth later, so. Chris mentions on the in his announcement that it is the most challenging challenge yet.
Doesn't
which
he
is
just like every episode?
Yeah,
he does, but it's also a weird weird explanation or nomenclature for it. Challenging challenge.
Well,
and then
Chris,
at the
he's not gonna be very bright about that all that stuff.
At the challenge explanation, he says it's an extreme max impact challenge, and as he introduces that, I think it's Owen shouts out, "We are ready!" And speaking of Owen, guess what they get fed for breakfast?
Owen.
They do not get fed Owen for breakfast. Jesus Christ.
I mean, they would have a lot of food.
That's true. That's very true. It got beans.
No, they got beans. Owen does the beans. Beans are good for your heart, but gets knocked out by a can before he's able to finish it. Because comedy.
Absolutely. That's
Harold
Owen's way of the fart joke.
Yep. Harold walks up to Chris to be like, "Is that a paintball gun?" And then gets shot by it. Basically, the challenge for today is the campers will be split up into hunters and deer. The hunters on a team need to hunt down the deer of the other team, and vice versa. But before we figure out who are the hunters and who are the deer, there's a shot of Owen who has eaten beans, and I counted. He ate 20 cans.
So here's the context that I am desperately in need of. I thought it seemed like everyone got like a single can. So did like he sneak around and steal everyone's cans of beans? Did he just find the collection of beans and just sit down and have a field day with that? How is it that every single time that Owen eats, he leaves his mark basically everywhere on his body and the surrounding area? There's a lot of questions that I have about Owen and his eating habits.
Are
There's
there
also
even
not
20 people there?
Right, there's less than 20 people.
There is some great concern about where the other bean cans came from.
It's fine. It's fine.
How did he obtain the bean? What secret bean storage does he have? Do we need to get Bush here?
Is there a way we can connect this to his bisexuality?
Me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans.
So the teams are decided. The hunters for the bass are Harold, Jeff, and Bridget. The hunters for the gophers are Lashana, Beth, Owen, and Lindsay. Leaving the deer for the bass, Courtney, Duncan, DJ, and Sadie. And the gopher deer, Trent, Cody, Gwen, and Heather.
Fucking furries. All of them.
Yes, they all got outfits. Camo hats for the hunters, and noses, antlers, and tails, of course, for the deer.
I mean, yeah, like a lot of these guys were saying that they were humiliated by wearing the outfits, but well, and we'll talk about this later. We know that one character embraces it wholeheartedly, and I think that they should follow in his example.
Yeah, I think that or one thing that really bugged me about the scene was the colors on the paintball guns were opposite what their team colors were. The bass got the green ones, and the gophers got the red ones.
Do you think that was on purpose, though?
I don't know.
Because it could be that, like, okay, so you have the red gun, so you're gonna have to hit the red deer. But then which I guess is like how friendly fire was allowed in this competition, essentially, where like they didn't really give the color coordination to the deer either.
Yeah, but there's with the paintballs, they mentioned that the basket bass blue here. But later there's a shot where someone gets nailed by, I think it's Lashana, gets hit by orange paint, which is supposed to be the gopher paint. But she's hit by Bridget, Jeff, and Harold.
I think you might be thinking Heather.
Someone got hit by orange paint shot by the bass.
Yes, that was Heather.
Yeah, okay.
Color is an illusion.
Yeah, truly. Color is just all like a theory in life.
Colorblind people just wouldn't care about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Colorblind people are listening, and they're laughing at us.
How dare they care so much about this?
So there's once again a big montage for all of the different things that happen. for this episode. There's a lot. Whenever the challenge has to be split up, the scenes are very quick. Mm-hmm. So Owen is now trying to hunt Duncan to start out. So he's taunting him, calling him Bambi, and then farts in the bushes and scares him off, and DJ's just prancing off like a deer.
Well, wait, DJ was the one he was hunting the whole time?
Yes.
You said Duncan.
I meant DJ, my mistake.
But can I just say though the one of them right before he really starts getting into the hunting mood, he covers himself in pee. I just want to acknowledge that was a thing that happened.
Did I not write that? Did I not write that down?
You did not. You did not mention that.
No, I did. It's later on. I type things out of order.
Yes, it happened.
Yeah,
it happened much early on.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Did he collect his own pee? Because he says he collected it.
That's true.
Or was it
like that,
other people's pee?
So here's the thing with Owen in this episode, and I have a massive revelation that I will reveal in the next episode. Spoiler alert! But I just, what is with this bean and pea collection? There is just massive concerns about the products that Owen has been collecting. And I'm concerned of what else is going to be afoot with him.
So I'm going to give a slight spoiler for this episode and the next episode, and we'll even see for future ones. This episode and even the next episode, I think I missed as a child. I think I just missed some episodes. So this was my first time watching this.
Oh,
because
shit.
I never watched them play paintball or anything, or future ones. But at least for this one, just some things being the first time that it was all just very new to me. I don't know, it hit different. So are we going to talk about the different scenes in I guess like the order they happen, or do we want to talk about like the different storylines independently?
It may be easier to do all the storylines independently.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
It's you're gonna have to kind of guide us into which scenes we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I will do my best.
You're our host.
Let's start out with Owen.
Okay.
So I made a mistake. Owen did taunt Duncan. That was when they were still at the. That's why I wrote Duncan here. It was while they were still getting their stuff.
Right. No, I knew that. Yes.
Yeah. So after Owen covers himself in deer piss, or probably his own piss, by the rest of the hunters, he runs off, and he's narrating himself the entire time he's doing this whole thing. Specifically, him hunting DJ, this is where he's hunting DJ, who is eating grass like a deer.
This is the commitment we needed as a deer character. DJ embraces the deer role. He is one with nature, and it's impressive. You could call it weird, but I say good job, DJ, through and through.
DJ is one of the best characters. I will. Actually, he might be my favorite. And I think just his commitment to not just being just like a nice, cool guy, but then his commitment to a bit is just to bits is amazing.
Yeah,
he's one of those furries that commits completely to the magic.
Yeah, he is an artisan. He is theater incarnate. He is beauty.
Listen, he Owen's here calling Duncan Bambi. The DJ is Bambi through and through. That is just the role that he has accepted, and it's nice. And and just to talk about Owen and his narration, it seems like that's a consistent theme throughout the show, and I get it. I also get. I understand wanting to narrate your life, because I did that for years of my childhood in my own brain. I'll be completely honest.
Same actually.
Yeah,
I mention it.
I spent most of my life thinking I was part of a reality show that did not exist.
See, I not reality show in particular for me, but I did like pretend that I had my own like TV channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like Owen is just he is still in that mode. He's still in his heart of hearts believes that he is the star of the show. Which I mean, now it's actually being filmed for a TV show. But he's just really he's really one with himself and what he does.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if you can hear my dog bark in the background.
It's a good dog. So
yeah, she is. Okay. So Owen's in the bushes. He farts and yells, scares DJ off. Oh, you okay, Matt?
Yeah, it sounded. I hope nobody crashed in the distance.
Oh my god.
So DJ is scared off by Owen's yelling. When we cut back later on, Owen's still chasing after DJ. DJ prances over the river gracefully. Owen shouting, "You're my burger now!"
Whoa,
and then lands on his crotch on the rock.
That's not how burgers work.
Venison burger, I guess.
That
doesn't sound very good.
Not every meat is burger, Owen. It's not. I can't look at a slice of bacon and be like, "Oh, look, burger." Like, no, that's not how it. Like, otherwise you just have like a fucking what is it, like those like heavy pork sandwiches? You just call it a burger sandwich. Like, no, that's not. That's not how it works.
Burger hamburger. Yep. Hamburger.
Boyga.
When we come back to them later, DJ's running up the cliff from the pilot, and is chased to the edge of the cliff, and Owen starts to approach, and is out of paintballs.
How did he like run out of paintballs that quickly? Like
I mean,
did he shoot at him the whole time?
That's what I'm guessing, because he was firing at DJ the entire time DJ was running up the cliff.
Okay.
So I assume Owen was just like going crazy and thinking something was gonna hit.
Okay, I didn't process the fact that he was shooting. I was very curious about that.
And DJ, realizing he has the power now, stands up, gets out of deer mode, and then throws Owen off of the cliff.
Yeah, DJ does a real sassy walk too. It's great.
He kicks his feet like he's he's disrespecting, and then just prances away again, back into deer mode.
He's basically like burying Owen further. You know? It's like that's like almost like a dog move almost. What's with Owen in this cliff?
I think it's just it's funny to watch big guy fall.
It's a reoccurring theme because literally like the episode after the pilot we have Owen like walk off the cliff sleepwalking, and then like right. and then like I think I feel like there might have been another point where it happened again, but this has to be like the third or fourth time where Owen had been off this cliff. So I feel like it probably will happen again at some point during the series.
Chris,
so
what if I told you it happened every episode?
It doesn't.
I would argue it does during the theme song during every episode.
Oh.
Well, that's the camera, not Owen. Owen's in the water though, so who knows?
That's true.
Oh wait, I'm misremembering the theme song. Never mind.
The camera is Owen. Like,
camera is Owen.
that's what it was at the end of the day.
Oh, I am Owen. We are Owen.
Owen comes out of the water dripping wet, still narrating, and then mentions that he has toe crabs. I don't think that's a real thing. I think he just has crabs between his toes. Cut later, actually, some things intersect, but we'll stick on this just because Owen is still involved. But Duncan is drinking from the river, kind of getting into the deer thing, but he's not lapping it up. He's just he takes the water in his hand and sips it up. And Owen toots a little bit in the tree because he ate all those beans and keeps getting caught because of it.
Was that the only reason that they fed them beans?
That's absolutely the only reason they fed them beans.
Was it
so
just
that they can
to
make
get
fart
to
jokes
Owen?
the whole episode? Yeah.
There is actually, that's true, there really was not any explanation for the beans outside of like, oh, it's an extreme challenge, so this is all you're gonna eat, and then
I think it's like hunting related, like you would go eat a can of beans over a fire while you're hunting.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
I think so. I don't hunt, so
that was not implied. I would understand, like, in the survival, having to cook a can of beans, like, over a fire, or cook a can of anything over a fire is a thing, but that was not implied, like, as hunters, you're gonna be surviving off the wilderness. No, it was just like, here's your breakfast, beans!
Yeah. Yeah, it was not really presented that way. It made it sound like they were like, okay, we're gonna starve you with just you can only have this can of beans for the rest of the day, essentially, as you compete in this challenge. I did not think of it as like you're part of the hunting spirit, and this is what they do while hunting.
Yep. So as Duncan's drinking, Owen toots, Duncan knows he's here. And then I wrote beans in all caps. I don't know who actually shouted that. But someone shouts it. Duncan knows it's Owen, and then runs away. Owen farts again, and it blows away part of the tree canopy.
I think that beans is Duncan whispering him to himself that he said beans, and then looked up and saw Owen as he tooted.
That makes sense.
So, I think that's where the context was. That's also when Duncan called him Farticus, which goes back back to my earlier intro.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. That's really it for Owen. Should we? I think we should do Heather's alliance next.
Sure.
So Heather just decides to wait, lets the rest of the deer go, and decides to wait for Lindsay and Beth to protect her. That's not like challenge rules, because they can't necessarily shoot the hunters. It's just she is spoiled and wants them to do whatever she says. That they finally find Heather, who doesn't seem to know what an alliance is, and just makes them go get food for her. She tells Lindsay to go get berries, and then tells Beth to go get her chips, but not barbecue flavor.
Listen, I don't know our demographic.
One second she's like, protect me, and then the other second she's like, alright, go get me shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what our demographic is, but if you are of the younger variety, I just want to let you know, to all the people out there, being bossy and being mean, it's not a personality trait.
No, it's manipulative.
It's not like, you can't just have that be like your main personality and expect things to be your way. Actually, being someone that is like, who feeds off of other people and decides to just yell at them and just put down that energy from them just so that way you can feel better about yourself. Yeah, it's not a personality, nor is it good TV. I find, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell me.
Beth mentions in a confessional, she's like, I don't even like Heather. Which is a bit more building on her dealing with her in the bathroom later. But she goes into the kitchen and gets the chips. She's under a picnic table when Chef is leaving, makes a noise, nothing happens, but she gets inside, gets the chips, hides under the table inside again, and drops the idol from... That was a weird voice crack. Drops the idol from her pocket, and Chef finds her this time. She runs, and in another confessional, this is where the I don't even like her comes into play. So she just decides as she's heading back to, eat the chips that she got for Heather, which I appreciate. Thought it was a nice touch.
This is the beginning of a very satisfying next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what bothered me? The fact that the bag got ripped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all those chips gone to waste.
Yeah. So as Beth is that's later. So Cody meets up with them. They're talking a little bit, and Heather brings the bag to Heather. Heather looks inside, notices their barbecue, gets mad, and says, "There's 11 chips left. Go exchange them for dill pickle," which I didn't know was a specific flavor of chip, dill pickle.
Oh yeah, that's popular.
Yeah.
That's a very popular chip around here.
I see.
Uh,
Well, that is the crux of Table Party at this point.
that is very true. That is a very main aspect of the table party. And just actually real quick, because I'm just sitting here thinking about it. What was the plot significance of the bag ripping?
We'll talk about it when we get to Cody.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
Oh. Oh!
Yeah, me and Matt are both realizing, oh, okay,
yeah,
I get that.
Okay,
now.
there you go. Beth stands up for herself here, gets mad at Heather, and then does this is where she storms off. Heather then immediately gets bagged by the bass hunters, and this is where I wrote, had the wrong paint color. She gets hit by orange, even though the bass are supposed to have blue paint. But it's fine.
Yes.
Beth has Sadie in her sights, and then Heather calls out Beth, scaring Sadie off. And Heather mentions that she wants Beth to take back what she said and rejoin the Alliance, which Beth rejects. Good on her.
Wait.
They continue to fight.
Hold on.
Oh.
I want to talk about how Beth pretty much, because Heather was like, you gotta take it back. And then Beth is like, take back what? And then Heather was like, you said the N-word. And I was like,
yeah. Yeah, I kind of for a second I was like, wait, is this blackmail? What's about to happen here?
Yeah, you said no.
No,
and
it's just just no.
Okay.
I was like,
I knew where it was going, but I think I just wasn't my brain was at 2% capacity, and I heard that and it woke me up. Sorry, go on.
As they're fighting, what kind of messed up person actually does this for fun?
I felt with that line.
Yep. Lashana fires on Heather this time and reveals that she needs glasses, has been needing glasses. And when Heather asks for to shoot back, Beth shoots Heather in the leg, saying it seemed like fun.
Damn right, it's fun.
Yep.
I'd also like to point out that Lashana says that because her vision was blurry, and then she says that she has to visit. I believe she says an orthodontist. That
does she?
Yeah, that's a teeth person.
Yeah.
I only know that because I've been to an orthodontist. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's what she says in the episode, though.
That
was funny.
Optometrist is what she was looking for.
Oh, maybe she did say optometrist, and I'm fucking stupid.
I'm the idiot here.
Future Matt, cut in to see if Lashana said it wrong or if Matt said it wrong. This is Matt coming in. Lashana does, in fact, say optometrist, which Matt discovers later on.
Okay,
Matt,
go.
you can
I'm
cut
glad
in
that we
this
learned
part.
that.
Hi.
Yeah.
My name is Matthew Walsh. and I'm stupid.
Well, you may not be. Maybe future.
Maybe you weren't.
Maybe future Matt is going to.
Maybe you're stupid for calling yourself stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So either way, stupid.
All right, Matt, can you cut this in right here? I definitely not worried because I just remembered that she definitely says optometrist and not orthodontist. So just cut out the last 30 minutes. Okay, cool.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Cut out this whole first half of the episode.
Cut out the entire podcast.
Yeah, just could you cut out the last last 8 episodes and we could just start over?
No.
Yeah. All right, we have to remember corn silo again.
Yep. So there ends up being Heather using Lindsay's gun is firing at Beth and Lashana. Beth and Lashana are firing at her, and then I believe the bass hunters then unload on them.
Yes.
Yes. Noting that 3 of those are gopher hunters.
Yeah, really, their only damage that they're doing is beating up Heather.
Which is fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
That's fine. Yeah. I think the next thing... That's pretty much it for Heather's group. There's one little bit where the bass hunters... Bridget is very upset about the idea of hunting. And then Harold is like, hey, Heather's one of the deer. And Bridget is totally okay then with being able to hit Heather with a paintball gun.
Bridget,
definitely.
you almost had conflict.
there was almost another nice storyline there, but no, we have too much Heather versus Beth to cover, so never mind.
There's a thing. Those are the 2 big ones. I want to talk about the Cody thing last. There was another thing where Duncan and Courtney are together, and they're trying to figure out which way camp is. Heather's saying, "Hey, I was to CIT. I know where things are." And as they both start walking, their antlers get locked.
Okay, so here's the thing. How is it that they were both looking straight forward, and they did not see that their antlers would get locked? How is it that they got into that situation, even though they were both, again, looking right at each other?
Well,
I don't know.
You see, the characters suffer from a condition where they're only 2-dimensional, so there's only one plane of existence for them to walk onto.
I see.
Yeah.
So when a 3-dimensional object enters their space, it would be the same as a 4-dimensional object entering our space.
Exactly. Yep, and that's how. I mean, it could also be that they were both too stubborn to move out of the other's way, but I like to believe that it is due to spatial dimensioning.
You said doo-doo.
You're like Mr. Game & Watch. If you look at them head on, they're just flat.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Brilliant job, guys. We
And
made it.
and the award for greatest commentary.
Guys, we're getting the Webby. We're getting the fucking Webby this year.
Great, Matt. Great. Nice
In confessionals,
commentary.
Duncan mentions that he liked it. Courtney seemed a little less happy about it. But they also mentioned that Duncan gives a reason why they wouldn't take it off. He's like, we could have just taken the antlers off our heads, but Courtney probably would have gone and tattled on us.
Right.
Which
and
is
also,
probably true.
Yeah, it's probably true, and it's also worth noting that Duncan, he liked it so much that he just decided to ask her if she wanted to make out. So Duncan is really, really great, wonderful human being that we should all look up to.
When they get back later, Courtney kicks him in the crotch.
Yeah, it's well deserved.
Yep. After saying the girl can't keep her antlers off me.
Yeah.
Girls have antlers?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They can.
If you believe. if you want that.
Yeah.
And then Cody is the only one that we haven't really talked about, right?
I believe so. So
Okay.
Cody's kind of in and out, but after the chips are given back to Heather, Cody just takes them and is eating them, and he calls barbecue chips the king of chip flavors. However, throughout this entire episode, and this is a detail I really like, Cody is in a full body cast.
Yeah, I
In the
wanted to even
confessionals.
I wanted to talk about that, and then one other thing that happens before then with Cody.
Okay.
But yeah, this being the first time I've seen this episode, like just seeing Cody in the confessional in a full body cast and then not explaining anything about it really got me for a second. I was like, oh no, oh no.
It's one of my favorite details of the show.
But when Beth was walking back with the chips, before she argues with Heather, she is talking to Cody about the shit she's done, and Cody, I guess, seems weirdly out of character. Maybe it's because he doesn't. Maybe because he's necessarily not tripping over himself and over somebody in a single scene with Cody, which is surprising. But he's actually just being a decent human being and asking questions, and it just seemed weirdly out of character for him to be a decent human being for a second and just have a conversation with Beth.
Yeah,
That-
I mean, you kind of started to see that in the last episode, right?
A
Yeah,
little,
when-
but even yeah.
He was being kind of a weirdo, but it was he had some developments in terms of like, hey, don't talk to girls like you want to date them.
Right. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it was admirable, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to see him just like talk like a normal human being, and that was what I like.
Man.
That was what caught me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if only we could ask that for like half of this cast.
And yeah, just seeing him in a full body cast without even explaining it yet, it was just very interesting.
I love that detail.
Yeah, that was well done. I kind of I forgot about what happened to him too. Like I forgot like how he ended up in there. So it was fun, kind of like trying to figure out like so what happens to him at the end that
Yeah.
he's in the body cast. So it was good. It was like a perfect dose of foreshadowing without really making it obvious, but like not like really bringing too much attention to it dialogue wise.
Yeah. He's walking with the chips, he finishes them, and then leans down to eat the berries that Lindsay picked for Heather. And then notices that there's a bear. The bear has chip dust around its mouth, and he's mauled by it. And then we get a confessional from the bear where the bear is eating chips.
That's okay, so now I kind of understand this a lot more. I was not completely like I was not putting two and two together where the bag was open and letting chips fall out, and that was what led the bear there. Like I did not completely grasp all that.
I was
Gotcha.
not either.
There's one thing of note that I noticed.
Sure.
When the bear roared at him, all his clothes blew off.
Oh, I did
Oh
not.
my god, I
notice that.
forgot about that.
I did not notice that. That God.
That's
What's
some cartoonery.
yeah? So what's with this cartoon and wanting their characters naked?
Humor.
No, wait
Yeah.
till next episode.
That's you're right.
So those are all the different storylines. All of the contestants kind of gather at the medical tent because Cody has been mauled by a bear and is in a full body cast. Chris notices how everyone is the level of paint that everyone has on them, and he says, "I see a mess and a waste," and that was awesome. He thought it was amazing TV that they fired on each other. The teams fired on each other, and because the Bass didn't have any paint on them, and the Gophers had 3 hunters and a deer with paint on them, the Bass win.
That was quite possibly the worst executed challenge of the entire series,
Absolutely.
or at least of what we've seen this far.
So at the ceremony, they're Heather is scolding the entire team in front of everyone and saying how much she wants Beth kicked off. Cody says in the confessional, and they've done this a few times, but they do some confessionals sometimes where they say who they want to vote for. Mm-hmm. Cody's saying that he's not going to get kicked off because everyone hates Heather more, and he's a fast healer. And we get a few other for Beth, including an Owen burping burping for Beth.
That was the episode after. That was in this episode.
Oh, that was my mistake. Yeah, they say they voted for. Gwen speeds through Chris's statement as Chris is starting to say, and Chris is like, "Fine, spoil the moment." Even though he hadn't really done that very much, they cut straight to the marshmallows for the past few episodes.
Yeah, I will say Gwen has a career in fine print reading on radio commercials.
Yeah. The marshmallows are given out to Trent, who barely talked in this episode, Lindsay, Owen, Gwen, who also barely talked in this episode, Lashana, and Beth. So it's between Heather and Cody, and it's given to Heather. And she looks at them and she's like, "You're all lucky." For what? What would you have done if you got voted out?
Unleash the wrath that is Heather. Look, I mean, this is the start of many times where Heather sits on the bottom and does not get voted out, and my 10-year-old self losing their mind at the idea that Heather would have to stay around for yet another time. And to be honest with you, had those feelings today.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, how has Heather, like, made it this far?
From a TV standpoint, she's a series antagonist.
But like, I get that, right?
Yeah.
But like, if we're gonna like put this down and try to take this as like a serious reality show, which we know it's not, but wouldn't you as a team look at someone who is being toxic, who sits around and does nothing, bosses people around, harasses people, tells people what to do all the time, and does not give a damn about who the hell anyone is? How the fuck do you keep them around on a constant basis? I would rather have Cody, who's in the body cast, than have Heather in this fucking competition.
Cody would probably still be willing to do challenges in a full fucking body cast.
Right. like Heather doesn't participate at all. She just acts like a diva. It's ridiculous.
After the votes are read, Beth wheels Cody to the dock of shame to help him out, and she tells him that she's got an idol. She's got the Boney Island thing, and he is screaming inside his body cast.
Is this like? So we've seen he can talk in the body cast through the confessionals.
This is the one thing that doesn't quite track, and I don't know when they record the confessionals, but at this point he can't talk. The confessionals are done in the outhouse, and he's off of the island at this point.
And and by the way, as they're walking, supposedly Beth and him were having a conversation. Like she's understanding what he's saying, and then he's yelling with the tape over his mouth, as if as if now she cannot even understand a word that she's saying. Like it's like there's so much wrong here. Not forget the aspect that she at the very end kisses him on the cheek and then pushes him accidentally into the river,
and then Cody dies.
Cody dies.
I, honest to God, thought he actually died when I was a kid.
Oh, no.
the whole scene, this whole sequence gave me like firmly grasp it vibes.
I forgot about that. Firmly grasp it in there.
Can we? So where was the boat?
Yeah, like what the fuck? What the shit is this entire scene?
Boat was late.
I guess. There's just so much. There's so much strange about this, about the entire sequence, that I felt like Cody just could have had a better end off, I guess. I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sit here and defend Cody of all characters, but like I don't know. It just felt like there was a lot of helplessness at the end there that could have been helped at least a little bit by like all the evidence in the other like throughout the rest of the episode that he could still talk.
Yeah.
This was such a weird episode.
It is. Any last thoughts on the paintball?
I mean, I know we talked about it and broke down the episode by stories and how they were happening, but in terms of pacing for the episode, for me, my brain felt a little rattled back and forth because they would cut between each story a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it suffered for it, at least from my point of view.
I tend to agree with that.
I can agree with that.
I think, and not like it's not something that they haven't done before, but it did feel like at times where it felt like the pacing kind of was all over the place at times, because you had like a very intense chase scene between Owen and DJ, and then you cut and like Heather's just sitting there yelling, and then you cut back to Owen and DJ, and then you cut back to Heather, and it's just like it definitely felt like a very strange episode. I didn't mind the episode as a whole. Like, I thought it was fine. I think mostly because Heather got dunked on, but like I didn't hate it, but it was definitely weird.
Yeah. Okay, shall we do ratings?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll start out for this one. I'm gonna give this episode an 8. I really like this episode. It's it is a little jarring, like despite what we all just said. But I think it sets up relationships really well, especially the Heather's Alliance story, the stuff between Duncan and Courtney. It's weird, but it's fun. And I think it works out pretty well in the end. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'll give it a 7. I think that it definitely built a lot of characters in this episode, or not a lot, but at least some of the main ones. And it kind of I think it kind of did tee off what we're going to see a lot in the future, which is I think people really starting to turn on Heather for the most part. And you're going to see, I think you really started to grasp what kind of role Owen's going to play, which is just like a character that just will do the weirdest stuff every single episode. He kind of just has his own running storyline that like is separate from basically everyone. I think it teed off a lot. I think again the points knocked off is probably the pacing and I don't know. I think that last scene kind of was also just very strange. It was a very strange sequence that also like never gets addressed again in any way.
It doesn't have to.
Like Beth like kisses him on the cheek, which is like a sweet gesture. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but do you think that like I don't know? Don't you think that kind of implies something there? That it just never address it again. Like it's strange.
Oh,
I never
thought of anything romantic.
You said 7, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to take a screenshot.
Yeah.
All right. Gabe, let's hear from you.
A 4.
Really?
I didn't particularly care for this episode.
Oh.
Any specifics that like was it like the pacing like we said, or is there something else?
Yeah, it was mainly the pacing. Plus, Owen was kind of annoying in this episode.
I kind of agree with that.
Walsh.
You know what? I thought I was going to be the kind of black sheep, but Gabe, I actually completely agree with you. I think I'm gonna go with like a 3.5. This episode maybe it's because I'm not. No, I can't even blame it on that. I was gonna say maybe it's because I didn't watch this episode when I was younger. so it was all hitting different than any other episode I've watched so far. But I think it felt sort of out of place, and it felt like the stories that they were trying to push for, they didn't just want to push entirely. Most things felt like gags with their characters rather than like actually changing anything. Main characters for the actual season are more in the background than anything. Like whose story is this episode? Is it's not the person who's gotten kicked off. I would maybe argue Beth's, but
It's Beth's and Owen's.
Yeah, but Owen he just like fucks around the whole episode, and he farts. And,
Owen fucks around the entire show.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's Owen's character.
Yeah.
I would argue Heather too, though, because I think
Yeah.
it does spark like I think it's like much more of a shift in her own alliance is now turning on her. Like there's just things that I feel like are starting to become like a little bit more common instead of like just people kind of like ignoring her annoyingness.
I don't know. I always viewed her alliance as a very background thing, and for them to take the episode to put the spotlight on it, I think now with the focus on it, the story of it doesn't hold on its own in the spotlight.
Okay.
And I think that I could get behind this episode so much if Beth really stood up for herself this episode. And while there are points where she will stand up to Heather, it's then just like dismissed, and then she just goes back the next second to just being like, oh, well, I can't. And then Lashana has to speak up instead. And it kind of just felt a bit all over the place in terms of what it wanted to do and what kind of story it wanted to tell, and it felt very very much like it was to set up things and to be a placeholder for like a background story than to actually push forward the story of the show.
Wow. Yeah. That's actually
well
pretty
put.
convincing. Yeah.
All right, let's get that Rama.
All right. So, I actually got a little happy because I went to the Wikipedia for Total Drama Rama episodes, and I now see that they have a season 2 section.
Yes.
Ah, hell yeah.
Yes.
I don't want this
Shows-
show to exist, but goddamn, we got more material. I'm happy.
No, I have not checked their sources. It does say here like season 2 and then parentheses 2020. So, I think some episodes here are yet. Yeah, like half of them, their Canadian air date is TBA.
Okay.
So, which is exciting. So, so this will be fun. But today's episode will be one of the classic ones from season 1. I know I've mentioned before that how we've had our like movie references. So I want to do the one that was a reference to Requiem for a Dream, like I mentioned.
Okay. Yes.
This one is season 1, episode 6, written by Andrew Harrison. Thank you, Andrew. It is titled. It's titled Aquarium for a Dream.
Jesus Christ.
Chef buys the kids a new goldfish that they are allowed to take care of. However, the goldfish gets killed, and not wanting to hurt the kids' feelings, Chef replaces it with a new fish. After this happens a few times, Gwen realizes something is up, and she tries to convince Chef to tell the other kids the truth.
I want to know how the fish keeps getting killed.
Yeah, like. So wait, so it's that's actually now that just sunk in that it happens a few times. I don't know what to say anymore with this. It's not. I mean, that was not one of the worst ones that we've heard.
But
No.
I also like the idea. It really has nothing to do with an aquarium. It's just a single fucking goldfish.
Yeah, that's right. Like, like I don't understand.
How big does it have to be considered an aquarium?
That's true. That is very true.
I
Does.
argue you need
A fish tank.
more than 2 fish for it to be an aquarium, and that's
Yeah.
very generous.
Yeah, 2 fish and maybe, and like, I would ask politely if you want to call it an aquarium that it's 2 different kinds of fish too, because our aquarium is supposed to show off a variety of different fish. What is, like, Chef, like, does he just have, like, a goldfish supplier that he's just able just to keep on going back? Is he spending
just a pet store?
Is he just spending his own money over and over again? Also, why the fuck is Chef, like, the father of all of these people?
He's
all
the
babies?
he's the daycare.
But okay,
supervisor.
so then, like, did no one, like, did none of these babies recognize them in the later series? Did they not think of this shit before they actually made the show? What is wrong with them?
I am operating under that this is an alternate universe.
This is not
because I refuse to think that they would be this inconsistent with their plots.
Can we also mention our good friend Mickey, I think, sent this to us, or so there's someone in our group, or maybe it was even one of you guys
it was the fart one.
I sent it, yeah.
That found a clip on Twitter of what appeared to be some dude involved in the show, for this episode, I guess, as a side character that looked like a fairy, that enjoyed smelling the farts of the kids as they farted, and, like, whenever they did that, he would be there to waft it in. And who the fuck, like, what the shit? What the fucking shit, man? Like, why? Why is that necessary?
I know you know what, until I actually don't see that episode written in the Wikipedia, which was strange that the clip went around on Twitter. But yeah, I do believe that it was, or at least they very much gave the impression that it was a leprechaun, like some sort of fart leprechaun that was basically describing how he was always there for every fart they farted, and every time that one of the kids would fart, it would flash back to one of the kids farting, a green stink cloud appearing in the air, and him just taking a long whiff of it, and a montage of those. And it was fucking disgusting. I love children's programming.
It's something, alright.
Mm-hmm.
We should not have these writers, all of them, need to be shipped off to their own Total Drama Island where they fight to the death.
Alright, any closing thoughts?
I said mine.
Okay.
That was it, I think, for me.
Alright. That's gonna do it.
Cody deserved better.
Maybe.
He did. Maybe. He gets Total Drama World Tour, Cody's one of the main characters, so there you go.
There you go.
This has been the Doc of Shame podcast. Black Lives Matter. I'll see you all next time. The Doc of Shame podcast is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter @Doc of Shame and find more of our work at Teen Chaos Pods.